Hello guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Today I'm super mega excited to be sharing this movie with you guys that I would definitely recommend to go watch. And yes, it is a new movie and it was released this year 2023. I would definitely rate it out 10 out of a 10, and one of the reasons why is because it's very educational, and yes, it's a full-on lesbian movie, 100% lesbian, and that's why I want to share it with you guys as well. So basically the movie is called Blue Jean, but before we get into more details, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and also let me know your personal opinion down below in the comments as well if you guys have watched this movie and what is your personal opinion on it. And I also want to say that I have activated the super stickers to the channel just in case any of you would like to make a small donation. I will also really appreciate that. So let's get right into it. So basically, like I already said, the movie was released in 2023. It is a British drama film and set in the 1980s. Jean is actually a PA teacher at a secondary school. On her way to work, she hears news broadcasted about the proposed Section 28 legislation, and we're gonna get into more details regarding that. So basically, it's set in Newcastle, in this case in Britain, and like I already said, she's a PH teacher at the secondary school. On her way to work, she hears a news broadcast about the proposed Section 28 legislation about switches, but she ends up ignoring it and she switches it off. At school, she received an in-closet and lies to her co-workers to avoid socializing with them after work. She regularly visits a gay bar with her friends and girlfriend, in this case Viv. While Viv is at Jean's flat, Jean tries to watch Blind Date while Vivi refuses, declaring it to be anti-gay propaganda. Jean's sister arrives, unannounced, and asks her to look after her son, Sam. In this case, Jean hides Viv's presence from her sister and downplays their relationship to Sam by actually introducing her as a friend. A new student, Louise, arrives at the school. Later, Jean and Louise recognize each other in a gay bar, but do not exchange words or acknowledge the meeting later. And as time progresses, Louise gains a sudden interest in netball and joins Jean's netball team, where she is the coach, where she clashes with another student, Sibona. Louise also spends more time at the bar and best friends Jean's friends group, so she actually becomes close. Knowing that she's a teenager, she actually becomes very close with her teachers, like with her teacher's friend, which was very they didn't okay, but it is what it is. Jean confronts her and tells her to stay away, warning her that she could lose her job at the school if she is outed and if people find out that she's a lesbian. So basically, Viv sees Jean and Louise exchanges the toilets and leaves in anger, flirtily believing that Jean is cheating on her with her student, but that was not the case. And as everything progresses, they get into this huge argument. Jean confesses to Viv about how that she knows Louise, the teenage girl, and Viv responded by telling Jean that she is setting a very poor example for her students by not letting her, by not being out of the closet and acknowledging who she is. But they had a very different point of view on how the situation should have been handled because of the current situation that there was in society. Jean visits her sister on Sunday lunch, where she and a photographer are for mom's wedding day. She asks her sister to take the photo down, and her sister reveals that she knows that Jean is a lesbian, basically saying, I know what you've been doing at your house. I'm not here to judge you, but you have to be careful because you see everything that's been going around, and who is that lady that's been showing up to your door. But at that point, Jean and Viv was already not broken up, but they just had a very bad argument, and Viv just decided to walk away from it. Jean Bus Paula's find a copy of a lesbian magazine on Jean's desk, left there by somebody else, and Jean assumes that Louise is responsible. Siawa provokes Louise after a game of netball, and the two students fight. After Jean breaks up the fight, Sibawa kisses Louise in the shower, which Jean sees, but Sibawa claims that Louise assaulted her despite knowing this to be all a lie. Jean in this case goes along with it, and Louise is expanded, and that's where things actually started started to escalate, because at this point, you know, Jean couldn't step up for Louise, knowing that she was put in a position that she didn't ask for. And even though she fell into temptation and she shouldn't have, you know, got into temptation by when she got seduced by Siboa, the other netball kid, it could have played out differently. But also Jean was like, I can take her side and tell her what exactly happened, because then they will start, you know, putting the spotlight on me, and they will find out who I am and what, and like, that in this case I am gay and I have a gay girlfriend and I'm, you know, just me. And she doesn't want to lose her job, because that's the only thing that she has going on for herself, and it's something that she loves doing. And she knows the moment everybody finds out, it will be very, very difficult for her to find another job in this lane of work. Jean tries to apologize to Viv, but Viv says that she cannot get back together with her, because she just feel like Jean is not ready to be outed. She's not ready to take the next step, and Viv is tired. She doesn't want to keep doing this, because she's been in this predicament before, and she feel like it's best for them just to part ways. And Viv says that they cannot get back together. She also tried to make amends to Louise, but she is uninterested in talking to Jean. At a child birthday party, Jean comes out to her brother-in-law and a friend before bursting out in louds as she leaves. So at that moment, it was a relief, because she just couldn't take it anymore, because she already lost everything that she really, really loves when it comes to her girlfriend. And also, you know, seeing what happened with her student also made her, you know, step up to the plate. She confesses to Louise to come with her to go to a party. This is where she actually ends up apologizing to Louise, and she ends up taking her to a party where Jean friends goes basically telling her, regardless of everything that's going out in the outside world, if you come here, you will be safe. You have a safe place to come. Even though she was just 15 at the time, and being around grown woman was a kind of a tricky situation, but that was the only safe space that she had at the time, being a young gay lady in this case. So after that, you know, Viv and Jen, they had not actually a conversation. They were just like, hey, what you doing here, basically that. But I don't think they actually got back together, because it the damage was already done. And also Jean, even though she came out, Viv wasn't ready to forgive her and just to move on, because Viv was very patient with her. Basically Viv couldn't call her at work. They couldn't be seen in public. They have to keep the relationship very low key. She had to hide from her family. So Viv basically just came to a breaking point where she couldn't upset and just let, you know, Jean dictate how their relationship should go. But despite everything, they ended up staying friends, because they also have the same friend circle. So it will be very, very difficult for them just to part ways and never see each other again. But at the last scene that they actually have together, you can actually see that there was still hurt between them, but there was also at the same time a healing process going through. So yes, that's basically what the movie is about. If you guys want the full details, I will definitely recommend you to go watch it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe.